Now let's start by talking about the 5-finger major scale. Now I know I've talked about this before, but what we're going to do is we're going to focus on some different aspects of this. First of all, let's just learn the scale. All it is the first 5 notes of the major scale. I'm going to go through real quickly. Start on a note, okay, so I put my finger on C, right? Then I go up a whole step, another whole step, a half step, and one more whole step. Okay, so whole step, half step, whole step. Now the reason I said start on a note is sometimes people think that, okay, I've gone a whole step just by playing C. No, you haven't done anything. You haven't done. You have to move between 2 notes. So there's your first whole step. There's your next whole step. There's your half step, and then your last whole step. To do it on, like, say something like E, go to E, go up a whole step, half step, whole step. You can do these 5-finger scales using the same fingering on any key. So like even A flat. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to do any crossing or anything like that. And this is a great exercise, just doing this on all 12 scales like that. But let's just focus on the key of C for right now. Now, we just play the hands together, so playing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the fingering in the left hand, and the right hand is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're playing C, D, E, F, G. Now notice what I'm doing is, let's talk about what I don't want to do, okay? See my wrists? That's not good at all right? Like this? Wrist too high? No. Shoulders up? No. You know, bad posture? No. You know, like kind of doing this where I'm like, you know, like put my foot up on the piano, you know, I'm just like relaxing. No, I want to stay nice and centered, stay in the center. You can put your belly button in front of middle C if you want, or a little bit to the left. And now, like I'm talking about in the article that goes along with this lesson, if I'm sending too many signals to my fingers, right? Remember, my brain controls my fingers. And if I'm telling my fingers to do too many things, my fingers are just going to get overloaded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on one target at a time. That target could be a note. So here I'm focusing on getting to that G. And all of my focus is on getting those fingers up to the G. And now notice how I can stop, I can bring my hands in, my fingers in, and I just kind of like stop right in that G. Okay, see how I help support that finger by bringing my fingers in. Okay, see that? Almost making a fist, right? Rather than leaving it out there like that, because you leave your finger out there like that, and you can feel the tension. Just try that right now on your piano, like just doing that. You can feel the tension versus bring those fingers, relax them, you know, because your hand naturally wants to be like this, relaxed. So all you're doing is making your hand relaxed as much as possible over that finger. The finger is, you know, in some ways almost straight, right? So that's one target. I can, you know, my target here is just getting to my note. But now the next target concept could be, okay, let me play as light as possible. Nice and relaxed and light. I can come up with a different target. I can say, let me go up and stop at E. Oops. Now, there's something real interesting there. My chord down here, I just moved it with my finger. At the same time that I did that, I made a little flub there. Now think about that. My brain was just thinking about something else, and then it took away from my focus. So this is a little, you know, a non-scientific experiment here. It kind of proves how you really have to stay active with your mind. Your brain is going to control your fingers, and it's going to help your fingers either play faster or play slower, okay, and inaccurate. So if you're focused, you can really start to play much more accurately. See how now I'm stopping on the D. Now, some of you I know are advanced players. You're already out gigging, making your own CDs and whatnot. Try these exercises, okay? If that's too easy for you, well, try and make it a little bit more difficult for yourself. Some ways you could do that is changing rhythm. I don't want to get into that right now because that's going to be too advanced. But if you're an advanced player, you know how you could start to make it more difficult for yourself. One way I will tell you right now that's really good for the ears is play a different 5-finger scale on the right hand. So like, I'm going to play G flat. Here's G, A, B, D flat, D, E, doing it on G is nice because that's your fifths. Now, just playing this fast like this, I'll tell you, you'll start to feel this in your fingers. Stay nice and loose and relaxed. Of course, remember to breathe. We tend to forget to breathe because we are not a horn instrument. So horn players have to breathe, otherwise they're going to pass out. Okay? We can just keep playing. I don't have to take a breath at all in order to be able to play the instrument. But what happens is if I don't take a breath and if I'm not breathing, what is not getting oxygen to them? Right here, your arms. You want to breathe because the whole breath process brings in fresh air, brings in oxygen, which then oxygenizes? I don't even know if that's a word. It provides oxygen to the arms. You'll know what the word is. So you want oxygen to get to those arms through your blood. That's going to help actually make it looser. Okay? One thing, if you go to the gym or you exercise, they're always saying, oh, breathe, breathe. Well, why do you breathe? You breathe because that oxygen going to the blood makes it so the muscles don't tense up as much. Now, why would we not want that when playing the piano? We don't want tense muscles, Okay, so keep working on those 5-finger scales. We're going to go through several different ways of breaking up that scale that I think you'll find quite interesting and helpful in your playing. Again, I know for some of you, this might be boring as watching paint dry. Trust me, though, these exercises will definitely help you. They're going to help loosen up your fingers, going to give you more fluidity, and then more importantly, it's going to make you faster at what it is you're doing at the instrument. Okay, so for right now, what I want you to focus on, staying relaxed. That's the first thing. Relax. Focus your brain, okay? It's like, you're like on the sports team and the coach is coming out and say, I want you to really focus on this play, all right? Like make sure you get there, cover that guy over there and, focus on this. It's focus, 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 all right? It's kind of like, when you see golf, I don't know if you're a fan of golf or not, but Tiger Woods, you see him hit a bad shot. And I just remember seeing him like really focus. He can be out in the middle of the woods and he hits this shot and it's like, man, how'd that guy get out? Get out of that mess. So really focusing, okay? That's what I want you to do right now. Focus on those targets. The target can be a specific note. It could be your dynamics. It could be like, okay, let me just focus on my shoulders right now. Let me focus on what my elbows are doing, okay? How many times do you think about what your elbows are doing? The other thing, right here, what's going on with your legs? Are you like playing and holding a bunch of tension in your legs? Start to focus on those different targets. I think you're going to see that, wow, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing in my playing. Okay? See you in the next chapter.